Kat DeLeon, and this is my song, The Queen I Am. It's been a long time coming for the two of us. Whoa, I got you hanging by a thread on the tip of my tongue. Whoa, night after night it comes down to your lies. I wonder who's next on your list this time. And you always said you wouldn't be content with me by your side. Look at me now, where you always wanted to be. Much this really means for me. I'm begging, crying on your knees. It took you some time to understand. Worship me for the queen I am. Spend most nights pushing forward just to crawl right back. Whoa, now you're the one reaching out for the upper hand. Whoa, night after night it comes down to your lies. Wonder who's next on your list tonight. And didn't you say I always get my way? Well, baby, not this time. Look at me now, where you always wanted to be. Much this really means for me. I'm begging, crying on your knees. It took you some time to understand. Worship me for the queen I am. Oh, not one to be messed with. You picked a moving target, you cashed out. Just a ghost who will back down. Look at me now, where you always wanted to be. Much this really means for me. I'm begging, crying on your knees. It took you some time to understand. Worship me for the queen I am.
All right, so welcome to our episode of MBS Live. Thank you so much, Kat DeLeon.
Yes.
All right, I'm always afraid I'm gonna say that wrong. One of my favorite artists is Tom DeLong. So when I see your name, sometimes I'm like, I want to say DeLong, but I know it's not.
I mean, if you want to say it like the DeLeon name, like the Italian,
DeLeon.
you got to do the hand gesture.
Yeah.
But
my
yeah.
stepdad is born and raised in New Orleans, and they're an
Okay.
Italian family too. So every time I go to say that, I always think of like the Cajun way to say it, like DeLeon, like, a little French in there. So I don't know. That's why. So sometimes when I'll say it on like Instagram, I'll be like, I got Kat DeLeon in the studio today. So, but you just blessed us with your first song actually, and that was called
The Queen I Am.
Queen I
Yeah.
Am. The Queen I Am.
Yeah, The Queen I Am.
Awesome.
Off my first EP called Here in Color.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I should have put that out in singles, but I was just so excited. I just wanted to put it all out at once.
Yeah. Was that your first EP that you've ever recorded?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
And I know you did that professionally.
Yeah.
You just said that. And that was over when we had Calico Studios, right? Over there with Daniel Martin. I mean, he's awesome. Like
the GOAT.
I know. Daniel, I know you're out in better places right now, but we miss you. So that's awesome. What was that experience like for you, kind of recording that and being in that professional setting?
At first, it was a little bit intimidating.
But I got pretty comfortable really quickly. Daniel's awesome to work with. He's super understanding. There's actually one song on the EP, Static, that's really emotional for me, and it's kind of embarrassing because I literally broke down crying in the studio trying to record it, partly because it's a tough like song to sing physically, and it's emotionally really difficult for me with the story and everything. But everyone was understanding, so yeah. It feels like a big family, like hanging out with Daniel and even my buddy Sean McCole, who I worked on my later singles with. It's really important to work with people that I feel comfortable with. Yeah. Because when I'm writing these songs or explaining the story behind them, like it's vulnerable as an artist. So
exactly. And that's really says something too. I mean, when you're coming in, you're being vulnerable with not only just like the lyrics, the songs, but your emotions too, right? And so finding a recording studio or a place where like they actually ask those questions, like, you know, like, what's this song about? Like, how does it mean to you? You know, and then they can capture that emotion through it, because we have microphones, we have instruments, we have all like the fancy stuff, but none of that matters if you're not capturing like the emotion that's going through the song. Yeah. So that's really cool. We don't have to go into that story if you don't want to. I would like to talk a little bit more about The Queen I Am, though, like how that song came about. It seems like a real big confidence booster. Like, you know, it's like I caught some really cool little lyrics in there, and none of them are popping up in my mind, and it's pissing me off right now. But please tell us a little bit about that one.
I wrote that in a time when I actually wasn't feeling super confident, so I wrote it as a confidence booster. Heck yeah. And I hope that, you know, if anyone listens to it, that they kind of feel, you know, a little bit more empowered. The more detailed story is actually about, you know, someone who I was seeing who was kind of wanting to be more in control. Like, this was years and years ago, and I was like, I'll show you. Not saying like I'm better than you, but inside I wanted to feel like I am better, because, you know, I'm not trying to put you down, you're trying to put me down. So
no, there's a fine line in any relationship, you know. You can't like, I don't know, you both have to support each other, right? And it's not like, you know, my way or the highway type deals. So like writing lyrics like that, I know for me, I wasn't much of a songwriter in the band and stuff like that, but like such contrasting like events happen, and then you're like, I'm gonna just write the exact opposite of like what I need to be feeling and hearing in this moment, or how I'm feeling, right? So that's really cool. Do you write a lot of your own lyrics, or do you have people write those for you? How does that go about?
So I was a literature major.
So she's fancy.
So people are like, how do you spell this? I'm like, I wasn't a linguistics major. I was a literature. So get it straight. But I'm lyric based mainly. I kind of have a backwards way of writing. Is when I told Daniel, like, here's all my demos. I don't play much instruments. Like, I'll play guitar a little bit to write, to get like the core notes and everything, and I'm trying to get back into piano, but I mainly would just write vocal notes like into my phone, or like have like lyrics completely done, and then sing a whole song a cappella, and I'll voice memo it to Tyler and be like, what do you think we'll go with this? So yeah, it's completely turned around, but lately I've been trying to get into top lining. And the new song that I'm in the studio right now about, I have a demo for it, so that was the one that I top lined, and it was the first time I ever top lined a song. So I feel like I'm getting a little bit more lax with listening to the input of the musicians, because before I used to be like, I have this vision in my head, it needs to be how I want it to be, but I'm like laying off the gas a little bit now.
Well, it always tripped me out like how talented some people can be, right? Like like I said, I wasn't much of a lyricist, I guess. Is that the right word? But I had my drummer, and he was very proficient in a lot of, you know, different instruments and everything. And so I would come to him with like, I got this line, kind of had this melody. It's like da da da, and he would be like, oh, sick, and then sit down and do that. And it sounds like Tyler's the one that played the guitar for you today. That is awesome. It sounds like he's kind of that guy for you, right? Like you could just be like, hey, I have this idea, can you help me out? And then does he just like send you back like a little guitar lick or something? Or
or we'll get back together and practice, and we've known each other since high school.
Oh heck yeah.
So
I'm talking as if he's not here. He's like off camera right now.
So it's a comfortable relationship, and he'll bring in his ideas, and I'm like, yeah, that's sick. Like, I wouldn't have thought of, you know, putting that into it. So Yeah.
Very cool. And so is it just you guys right now? Do you have a full band, or how does that kind of play out for you guys?
It's kind of sporadic because usually Tyler and I will just write together, and then I go into the studio, and most of the full band work that I've been doing is with my buddy Sean McCall from the band Madam Gun.
Oh, heck
and he has his own project, and he does his own independent work. So we became friends through Daniel's writing course, or it was like a songwriting course.
Okay.
And we met there. We actually had to write a song on the spot, and it was called, we got a prompt, and it was summer. And we were like, let's write a song about like, I'm so sick of summer. Like maybe Summer was the name of a girl that you knew and you're sick of her.
Heck yeah. I'm thinking like Olaf over here. Like, it's summer. Like, you guys are like, screw summer. That's so cool. Oh man, the pressure must have been on then, writing that prompt. How long did he give you? I know I'm like all over the place right now.
Like half an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And we just met too.
Yeah.
Like we didn't know each other at all, and we're like, okay. And then so that happened, and we were like, you're cool. Yeah. Have you seen that video where it's like, hey, I think you're really cool.
Yeah.
I like you a lot. Maybe we can hang out or something.
Oh my gosh. And then it just kind of blossomed into this beautiful like studio relationship, right? Where that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's always good to have like people like that in your back pocket. You know, even if you don't work with them all the time, just having those connections or going out and kind of putting yourself in those situations where you're, you know, learning, you're trying to expand your knowledge and stuff, and you never know who you're going to meet. So that's really cool. Do you do a lot of those songwriting courses at all, or was that just kind of like a one-time?
I just went to it because it was available at the time, and I'm like, this looks like fun, and it would be a good way to meet like-minded musicians. So yeah, I haven't taken courses. I just kind of write when it feels right, because I'm like, if I knew where to go to be inspired, I would move there.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. I'm always like, right now, because it's almost fall, I'm getting like all of these like Pennsylvania or Vermont, or, you know, all those like with the pumpkins and stuff. And I would so love to live there. Yeah. Right now. I just want to live somewhere where there's all the seasons. You know? And that was totally a side note. I'm sorry, but you talked about inspiration. I was like, that would inspire the crap out of me right now.
I mean, that reminded me, because I used to live in Chicago.
Chicago
area. And Sean actually also grew up in Chicago.
That's so cool.
He covered Mad World on like a solo thing, and then I covered Mad World in my EP like before I even met him. So it was like, this is crazy. Yeah. But I mean, it's a common song, but it's crazy that it showed up twice. Like, so like.
Exactly. So you grew up in Chicago?
I was really little, so I moved here when I was 8. So he lived there like way longer than me. Yeah. Like kind of.
Got it. And so by here you mean like the Temecula Valley, this area? Okay. Yeah. That's cool.
But I experienced the all 4 seasons for a little portion of my life that I'm like, I remember that.
Okay, cool. So going into Temecula Valley, getting your inspirations, meeting Sean was his name, right? And Tyler, is that kind of like your day-to-day, or how do you kind of go about your days right now with your music? Do you have a full-time job, part-time job? Like, what is like the day in the life of Kat?
Well, currently I'm just freelancing, doing makeup. I'm a makeup artist and hairstylist, so I'm in that transition of trying to get a steady hairstyling job, because then, you know, the more money's coming in, the more time I can evidently stay in the studio on my time off. So right now I'm just working on a new song that's coming like in a new direction for me. The current stuff that I have out is, I would say, more like pop rock, pop punk, a little bit of like the lighter influence. Yeah. And then I definitely want to get into like a hard rock, like post hardcore sound. So the new bunch of songs that I'm working on are more in that vein, and I have a whole vision for sort of a rebrand. Heck yeah. So I'm just compiling all that until I'm ready to just push it out like slowly. But there'll be teasers. Yeah. Everything.
Little things. Well, awesome. I'm excited to see all that stuff.
It started out in a silly enough. Your silky sweet and rough. Little did I know how much I'd have to pay for this. Selling my soul for doesn't listen to petty girl drama. Hotter than hell under your skin. Bet you never think I'd win. Back from the dead, you'll never take me alive. Regenerating from all your crimes. Immune from the pain, blood-stained lips don't lie. Back from the dead, you'll never take me alive. You run your mouth as the world stands still. Take my improvements like a jagged pill. And I didn't know you'd take it this far. I didn't know I'd walk away with scars. But you thought your little plan was like a knife to my heart. Back from the dead, you'll never take me alive. Regenerating from all your crimes. Immune from the pain, blood-stained lips don't lie. Back from the dead, you'll never take me alive. Oh, take me alive. Oh, may your hexes backfire. Waste your time, conspire against me, but no one cares anymore. Your curses be broken, your own throne you're joking. So hate me, but no one cares anymore. Back from the dead, you'll never take me alive. Regenerating from all your crimes. Immune from the pain, blood-stained lips don't lie. Back from the dead. Back from the dead. Back from the dead. You'll never take me alive.
Awesome. So you just played the second song, and that one was called
Take Me Alive.
Take Me Alive.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You guys rock. You guys sound so
Thanks.
good. I just want to let you know. First off, thank you for playing that song for us, playing both songs for us today. So you were talking right before the break that we had, you were talking about kind of going into a new direction, right? Going into that like post punk,
post-hardcore.
Post-hardcore.
sound. Yeah.
So there's a whole difference with like post-punk and post-hardcore, right? Like you're going to go into some screaming.
Yeah.
That's
You can hear a little bit of that on I Want You to Know.
okay.
It's on Spotify and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But Take Me Alive, the song we just did, I wrote that whole song inspired by the movie Jennifer's Body. If anyone's seen that.
Heck yeah. Megan Fox.
Yeah, and then there's some lines in it that are kind of referencing. I mean, the whole thing references the movie. But yeah, if you know the movie, you know that like once she goes through the transformation, like she can't die or she can't get hurt or cut by anything. So I was really inspired by the aesthetic. And I was like, oh, I can build something off of this. So I just made a song about it.
So like, do you have a music video for that yet? Because I'm picturing like totally just ripping all of the scenes from that movie and just doing a whole cut to that. Is that, we'll get in trouble for that, right?
I don't know. I didn't do
There's like a fine line these days. With
yeah.
like,
I haven't done a video for anything yet.
okay.
Part of me wants, I'm like torn. I'm like, should I do one? Because that would be really cool. But then I'm like, what if I get a copyright strike because I'm, you know, referencing a whole film?
Yeah.
But the aesthetic that I'm aiming towards with the new sound of like the post-hardcore is almost like a Matrix sci-fi type of thing.
My brain just went to like so many different visuals just now. Oh my gosh, that'd be so cool. So you're going to be using a lot of like synthesizers, electronic sounds as well? That's going to be sick. Still keeping the organic sounds of like the drums and all that, or are you going full?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still want it to sound organic, but then at the same time produced like with the synth. Like synth is like a heavy aspect moving forward, just to add those little accents in.
Heck yeah. No, that's awesome. So many bands. So I was thinking before, have you heard of the band called The Animal and Me?
Yes.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
I actually met them one time at
Really?
Downtown Disney. It was so funny. We were passing out tickets for one of our shows, my band at the time. We were playing at Chain Reaction, and they were like, we would totally go, but we're playing at the House of Blues.
Oh.
And it was just this most random thing. And then we looked them up, and we're like, holy crap. They're like,
oh my God.
They're big. So, but yeah, so when we were talking about the song that you just performed, I keep forgetting the name. I'm
Take
so
Me
sorry.
Alive.
Take Me Alive.
Yeah.
So when you performed Take Me Alive, I was picturing like not only that, but they are very unique with their music videos that they have done as well, where they almost like perform very badly the movie that they're referencing, and it's so good. Like it's tasteful how they did it. So that's what I was picturing. And then you moved into this whole new like synthesizer thing. So then I'm thinking like Black Audio, AFI's little side number and stuff like that. So where do you draw your inspirations from when it comes to that side of music?
That's such a loaded question.
I know.
Okay, I'd say my top influences musically, pretty Reckless. The band Sumo Psycho that I'm pretty close with. I've hung out with them like 5 or 6 times.
Oh,
and
heck yeah.
Sky and I are kind of like twins in the face, so like they're amazing. Bad Omens is a huge influence for me moving forward. I pull a lot from pop punk, but then also like a lot of really, really heavy bands too.
Yeah.
So I feel like whatever is moving towards the new era of music is going to be a blend of all that.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. So this is going to be like the worst segue into another topic right now, and we totally talked about this before we sat down of like bad segues. But do you have any like goals, or not goals? Do you have any advice for artists that are kind of like, I don't know, the best way I could word it is when I did pop or my punk rock and all that stuff, it was like I kind of was defeated sometimes because not a lot of people, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of people that are into punk rock, pop punk, post, and a lot of that stuff, unless I'm at Warped Tour, I'm not with my family, you know what I mean? It's like, and Warped Tour is not even doing it anymore, so it's a little bit of a bummer. So I know how tough it is sometimes when you're writing these things or you're feeling good about it, and the only people that like are in it are either in your band or like your close friends, you know? So do you have any advice to speak on that?
I think the biggest piece of advice I have specifically towards, female singers who want to go into this hard genre because, it's kind of a limited genre for us. Figure out if you want to be in a band or a solo artist. Because I feel like your first thought is like, yeah, of course I want to be in a band. I want to be in a rock band. But you also have to think about how you want to market yourself, like how you work with other people as well. And that's how I came into the solo artist journey, because I was in and out of bands, and it came down to like a lot of musical differences or just drama, unfortunately, sometimes. So you really have to know like how you work with people, how you work with yourself independently, and like how you can find a happy medium. And if being a solo artist and finding studio artists to work with on a one-off chance when you can, if that's how you prefer to work, then great. But if you have like a tight unit of musicians that you're really good friends with and you're in a band already, or you want to start a band, like if you feel more inclined in that, go in that route, and I think you'll find the right people that way.
Exactly. And like we talked about a little bit earlier too, it's putting yourself in those situations like songwriting, classes, or studio environments where you can find people like that, unless there's another way. I mean, is there another way that you've reached out to people about finding music and that you can work with and work
Instagram, man.
Instagram? Power in Instagram.
I'm trying to build my TikTok as well. I'm an elder emo millennial, so I feel like I have to edit out the millennial pause like before I start talking. Like I'm very, very new to TikTok and all that, but that's the biggest thing, like being consistent with your media, with your social media. Unfortunately, on one hand, if you look at it that way, but try to have fun with it. Just be like, I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna like turn on my phone, turn on my camera, and just have fun. Because if you turn on the camera and you're like, I don't want to film a video today, like that's gonna show through.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest advice that I give to artists a lot. I've been doing marketing for like corporate clients and that end for, 5, 6 years now. But I was like, why am I not taking this knowledge that I've learned about like the social medias and all this other the social medias? I'm like, not that old, I swear. The social media. You've been on the Google lately? No, but like taking that knowledge that I've accumulated there and like, why am I not sharing that with musicians? So like a big piece of content that I'm doing right now is like, stop wasting the only money you have on music videos. And I had a couple of artists like reach out to me and they're like, oh, we were going to hit you up to do a music video. I was like, I'm not saying don't ever do music videos, but like, what's your goal? Like, that's the biggest thing. And I when I was playing music, I didn't take that time to strategize and think. And it doesn't have to be like a strategy, but like, think about it. What's your goal? What is like the brand that your band is trying to have or whatever it is, right? And we can say all the funny, fancy things, but it's like, that's really what it is. I'm working with another artist right now and I'm like, dude, you post these really cool stories, just post it on your page. Yeah. It's like, I don't want it to get too like convoluted with all, I was like, but it's like on par with everything your music's about, right? And then even the posting side of things, it doesn't have to be every day. Like you were saying, if you're not feeling it, like it's okay. Yeah. But when you're posting, just be consistent with it, whatever that is, right? Like you almost have to run it like a TV show. Like you're the main character of your show. And people like that, and then when you go to these shows or these places, one, if you have a show, post about the show. But post it a lot so that people go. And then and this is just some quick advice that I'm just throwing out there, whether people like it or not, I'm sorry. But it's like, film something at the show, and that's what you post out for that whole week after. Yeah. Because the next show that you have, you're going to have all those people that saw that, and they're going to totally have FOMO. Yeah. They're going to be like, we should have been, that looks so sick. And then the next show that you have, you'll probably have more people there. There's a better chance, right? So I really like what you said about, just like, if you're not feeling it, it's okay, but like, post, like get out there. So that was really good. Well,
my strategy moving forward is I really want to find a bunch of like-minded musicians who, if you're listening to this and you're like, hey, I want to get involved in a project like that, because, I'm primarily just a vocalist and a writer. I'm not fully a musician. So, and the sound that I'm going for is so, it's kind of extreme and it's very detailed. So it's going to take, a team. So I'm, right now trying to build that team, and it can get kind of difficult, especially with the area that we're in, and it's mainly country based or singer-songwriter or pop. So the genre kind of has its constraints, but I think you're out there if you're listening to this, and reach out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something too that we could like talk about a little bit if you want, is like there are so many people that like this music in the area that we're at, but it's like we just don't feel like we have, I don't want to say like a voice or anything, but it's like there's not much out there. When you go to an open mic, you're having like 8 out of the 10 are country singers. Yeah. And that's totally fine. Like, but it kind of just feels like you almost have to go to like Los Angeles or something to find, these Long Beach or wherever it is. But I know that they're out there. And seriously, if you're listening, you got to hit her up and just be like, hey, I play the bass. Hey, I play the keyboard. Hey, I do this. And you never know where it's going to take you. You got to take those shots, right? So where can people find your current music that you have out?
I'm on Spotify, Apple Music.
Heck yeah.
Deezer, like wherever you can stream.
Deezer,
like I don't,
nice.
All the YouTube streaming at Kat DeLeon. And then I'm on Instagram at Kat DeLeon. There's a little dot in between separating first and last name. Heck Same for my TikTok. And then YouTube is Kat DeLeon Video. And I believe that's it. I don't use X, Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, so
they just
I have it.
So,
I just don't. I'm not on there, but I'm on, what's the other one? The new thing. The little @ symbol.
Threads?
Yeah.
Heck yeah. I feel like we're showing our age a little bit on this one, like Thread. No, I think Threads and X was Twitter, but X, I think those are really cool if you're doing a tour. Like that would blow up a lot. Yeah, exactly. So cool. Like, what other goals do you have kind of like right now? And I know I talked about goals a little bit here and there, but like your biggest thing is building that band, but like farther out than that. Like, let's say, hypothetically you have that band now. Where does that, what does that look like?
I'd love to create a full-length album. I know everybody's about the singles right now, but I feel like there's nothing better than being able to listen to an album front to back without without any skips.
Yeah.
That, tour, local shows,
Heck yeah.
get out there and play. I love performing. I haven't performed live with a band since high school, so about like 10 years.
Oh my gosh.
And I miss it so much. So
Yeah.
I'm, you know, really high energy. I love interacting with the crowd. And I feel like being in the studio and writing is, you know, technical, and that perfectionist side of me kind of kicks in. I'm like, it has to be perfect. But then, you know, when you're live, who cares if you mess up? It's live. Like, you're there for the audience. You're there to make people feel like they're having a good time.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, that's what performing's all about. That's what music's all about. So awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in. All the links are going to be down in the description below. So the way that she spells it and everything, it's going to just click it and it'll take you right to the place. Hit her up, DM her, and you know, just get out there, play the music that you want, and I mean, that's all I got. I don't have any other advice. I mean, it's like, break out of your shell, do the things that you want to do, and it's so worth it. Like, I didn't think I was going to build this whole show and this studio and stuff like that. And, you know, it's something I wish I had when I was, you know, performing and doing that. And now I'm glad I'm able to do it for other artists. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Don't be afraid to step out of the box. And, you know, if your niche is something that not everyone is doing, just do it if it makes you happy.
Yep.
Yeah. That was so wholesome.
Cool. That was a nice little ending point.